Hi, it's Clarissa again. I'm here to continue and essentially end my whole story of my traumatic childbirth. You have been going through the chapters with me. That way I can explain little bit by bit. Makes it a little easier for me to kind of deal with my feelings and stuff like that as well. So if you've been tuning in, I appreciate your ear to lend, and I'll be talking about my bond with my child, my mental state right now, and the pain that I have been dealing with um, subsequently because of this traumatic childbirth. So, he is about 18 months now, and he is growing and happy and lovable and sweet. Not the most cuddly all the time, but that's okay. But he's very sweet and all that. All his all his milestones are hitting right on the target. So things are going pretty well. Things are good there. My mental health, I've had an anxiety attack in the market while in line with a long line behind me, in between the cashier starting to ring me up and still having it while having to pay. I felt like such a panic, was breathing heavily, like, I just want to get the fuck out of here. But yeah, that happened, and it was really stressful. I had gotten some really stressful news a little earlier, and out of nowhere, not really out of nowhere, but later on it just kind of all hit me like a ton of bricks while I'm in a position where I shouldn't be freaking out. But anyway, it happened. I feel a lot of pain. I get some chronic pain. I have some nerve damage stemming from the lower back of my body, and essentially the nerve damage, if you're not familiar with what that even means. So it took me a second to know. I didn't know quite what that meant. But the pain receptors in my body, the fuse is not working correctly. So it can shoot more pain for longer periods of time, steadily. Um, I don't feel pain the way that my body doesn't understand pain the way that it should, because the nerves are just damaged. So I can be in a lot of pain on a daily basis. Um, if I do not take anything to help with my pain, it'll just sometimes be all day, um, moments where it's worse, and it can really get me at a point where my mood changes dramatically and I feel really angry and really irritable and depressed and useless. My son just growing and growing is a beautiful thing, but when I have bad days where I feel like I'm out of commission, it breaks me inside. I feel like I should be the mom who can, be standing up, making breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I should be the mom who can grab him some snacks and chase him around and grab him up when he's getting into stuff he shouldn't be getting into. But when I'm out of commission, I feel like I can't do those simple tasks. And it really does kind of break my spirit, and I can fall into a depression. Um, and I have for a long time been dealing with insomnia. I have now realized that I've dealt with it since my later teenage years, into my adulthood, and it's been pretty consistent. It's probably annually that I have waves of periods of time where I just can't sleep. So the one thing that has helped me is something that I used to do recreationally for fun, but medical cannabis is something that I decided to, here as somebody, me being somebody who lives in California, I figured, why not um, get it medically? It's the legitimate way to get something that may help. And I looked into it like a maniac, and I cross reference and find sources and find all this information constantly. And I find out what works, and um, it's taken a little bit of time, but if you've had to deal with any kind of health issues, mental health issues, you know that finding the right dose and prescription takes some time. It's essentially the same. And you build a tolerance just like any medication. So I've tinkered with a few things, and I've gotten to realizing that um, for my chronic pain, my chronic nerve pain, my slight depression, more or less when it gets to be a bother because of how much pain I am, mostly is what um, ignites that. My generalized anxiety, and definitely my insomnia. Medical cannabis, has totally helped me in so many amazing ways. And it's helped me feel like I can use it at small doses, and for me, it helps me be a normal mom. It helps me do just what I said and not feel upset about it, because I can actually run around and chase my son and make sure that he's not getting into stuff. And if he gets into stuff, I can pick the stuff off the floor. And yeah, I have back pain still, but it's a lot more muted. I feel like I can function. I'm not falling asleep on my ass. I'm fully aware of what's going on all the time, and it helps me sleep at night when I want to relax and go to sleep. So it's definitely something that's worked for me. Um, in a different video, the next video I'll do probably is going to be about my journey with that. So if you're interested in that as well, I'm going to be talking about that a lot more. It's something that I've become very passionate about. I think that all use can be deemed as medical use, and I'm not trying to demean medical use, but we all have our vices. We all have things that we need to de-stress and decompress from. And this is one particular way that I like to. And it's something that can actually help quite a bit of people. It helps with many different ailments. So anyways, I'll be talking about that sooner or later. And thanks again for tuning in. I feel like I really did get some closure at this point now. So I appreciate anybody who's been listening. And if you've been dealing with anything like this, you're not alone. I'm not alone. Bye.